Hi, I'm Lars from Mozilla. Have you ever wanted to own a number? When this particular hex string came into view, a whole bunch of lawyers in Southern California had conniption fits. So aside from letting you view movies that you're not probably allowed to view, is this really an interesting number? Well, I figured out that it is. And in fact, there is a hidden message in this number that the entertainment industry does not want you to know. So I am going to manipulate this number a bit and explore it. First thing I need to do is to put it into base 10. If you see this base 10 number here, you'll note that it is 38 digits long. That's about the same range as the mass of the globular cluster that we're in our universe. So in my next part of analyzing this number, I'm going to factor it. If you want to find out how this factor function works, I'll tell you later. So anyway, that gives me a list of prime numbers. If I multiply all these prime numbers together, I should get that original number. So this product is clearly a derivative work of the previous number. Now, I believe that fair use will allow me to examine at least two of these prime numbers here. So I'm going to focus on the two largest numbers, the one that begins with 2-1, the one that begins with 8-3. Let's look at the one that begins with 8-3 first. Now, through some arithmetic manipulations, I'm going to show some secrets in this number. Oops, n. First thing I'm going to do is multiply it by the weight in kilograms of Saturn's moon Prometheus. Now, you might notice that I have quite a few more significant digits there than perhaps are warranted, but trust me, I know what I'm doing. So, for my next, in this number, I'm keeping a list of, or rather, sorry about that, I am making a product out of this number for each screen here. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add the mass of Mars. Our number's getting pretty big. Next, I'm going to shift it to the left 1 bit. Then I'm going to multiply it by the number of possible values in an SQL Boolean column. You'd think it would be true and false, but it's really true, false, and null. So that's 3. Now, there's a type of shrimp called an Antarctic krill. It is thought to be the most prolific thing on our planet. If you were to weigh them, it would be a magnitude 11. So we're going to multiply that by 11. You notice this string of digits now is a length of 42. I've heard of that number somewhere. All right, now we're going to go on to that other prime number, but keep this one in mind, because we're going to come back to it. The second one, we're going to multiply by the weight of the planet Venus. And then, getting some constants from the technical world, back in 2004, Red Hat Linux had a kernel panic, and in their instance of Bugzilla, it was bug number 140070. So I'm going to multiply by that. Then I'm going to multiply by the zip code from El Paso, Texas, and the RFC number of the Network News Transfer Protocol from 1986, which was 977. Bringing this around to Python, PEP number 307 was extensions to the Pickle protocol in 2007. We'll multiply by 307. The magnitude of those krill again, we'll put that in. Since this is the second number I've dealt with, I will shift it to the left by 2 bits. And you notice that that one was also 42 digits long. So I'm going to take that 42, raise 10 to the power 42, multiply it by that first number, and then add the second number. That gives me an 84-digit number. That's 32 orders of magnitude greater than the mass of our observable universe. So I'm going to take those digits and take them in coupled pairs, 2 at a time. And as long as I'm at it, I'm going to add 22 to each one of them. That gives me a list, which I'll call my forbidden list of integers. And finally, I'm going to join them all together, interpreting each number as a UTF-8 character. So the secret message that should the entertainment industry and those lawyers should take into account, and what I probably should take into my account myself, is